it is scary, but it was the best decision that I made in my life. And a lot of people, like you say, are scared to do it. And I'm always telling them the same thing. It's so cliche, but imagine that you're like 8 years old. You're going to regret it so much that you didn't try it. You're going to sit there and you're thinking, why did I stay for 20 years in the same company? Because I would rather have done this or that. And I know it's not easy, but just do it. Just do it.
Let's go back to what got you into graffiti and into outdoor art to spray paint. You mentioned at 16.
Yeah, I started doing it at 16, and it was really graffiti. It was like with the pieces and the characters and the letters. So it was like real graffiti that I did. And then at a certain point, I just stopped doing graffiti for, I think, maybe something like 10 years. But in that time, I went to art school again, but I was still working. So I went to art school in the evening because I wanted to learn how to paint, because like I told you, I used to draw all the time and I wanted to become a comic book artist. But then I started learning how to paint, and it's something totally different than drawing. It's nice when you have like drawing skills when you start painting, but it's totally different way of working. And I wasn't good in working with colors. So that's something that I learned when I followed the painting classes. And at the same time, like I told you, maybe 10 years later when I stopped, I met a guy at a party and he was like, you're doing graffiti. I said, yeah, it's quite a long time ago that I did it, but yeah. And he showed some pictures on his phone of what he did. And I thought, wow, that's super cool, because it was way better than what I was able to do. And he said, yeah, we have to paint together. I was like, okay, cool. And I started painting with him. So I started learning more techniques. And he stopped. He lost interest and he became like a graphic designer, also a 3D artist, amazing artist. And I just continued painting. And I got pretty obsessed, because in Belgium also you get like, when you work, you get paid holiday salary. It means they pay you some extras in the summer for your holidays. And I just bought spray paint with that money. And I went to all these legals. With Belgium, you have like certain legal zones where you can paint. And that's all that I was doing every weekend, every time that I had like some free time, I just went painting. And then I started doing some small commissions. And then I was thinking like, it would be so cool if this would be my job. And then I started working part-time. So I had a little bit more time to paint murals, but still not that much. And then at a certain point, I thought, okay, I have to make the step. So I quit my job, and here I am right now in Columbus painting. So.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, that jump that you took. And I think this is really tough for people, especially when they're, a little bit further down the road and they're, making a living and they're, working professionally. And if you're working professionally doing something that sort of feels, like maybe it's good enough, but there's something out there that, you think maybe you'd much rather be doing, I think it's hard. A lot of people don't make that jump. So what was it that got you to really take the leap to do this?
Yeah, first of all, I really knew what I wanted to do. That's also like a lot of people, they don't really know. Often if you ask them, what do you really want to do? Some people, they know it, but a lot of people, they have to think, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. But I was like, I knew I want to do this for a living. And you have to try something. Otherwise, I was thinking, like, imagine that you're like 80 years old. You're going to regret that you didn't try it. Mm-hmm. There is a big chance that you're going to fail. But, I have family who is financially strong. Everything is okay. So why don't try to take a guess, see how it turns out? And it was scary, absolutely, because it's also strange. Normally you go to work and all of a sudden you're at home all the time, because in the beginning I had some small commissions, but also not that much. Mm-hmm. And you have like my mother, she's a really nice person, but she was like, why are you quitting your job? Because, you have like a car and you have like a good salary. And she was like worried, why are you doing it? And I was like, I just need the opposite right now. I need somebody who says like, okay, go for it. And we believe in you. And I had my friends who were supporting me, and this sounds like I'm saying something bad about my mother, which isn't, because she just wants her son to have like everything that is okay for him and know that he doesn't have to worry financially and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, right now you could almost call it tours. She shows her friends my work. She's super proud. But in the beginning, it was hard for her to understand why I did it, but it's something that I had to do, and it was scary. And she helped me like 2 or 3 times financially, not much, but she gave me some money because I needed some money to survive. And it is scary, but it was the best decision that I made in my life. And a lot of people, like you say, are scared to do it. And I'm always telling them the same thing. It's so cliche, but imagine that you're like I said, 8 years old. You're gonna regret it so much that you didn't try it. You're gonna sit there and you're thinking, why did I stay for 20 years in the same company? Because I would rather have done this or that. And I know it's not easy, but just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these things are cliche for a reason, and oftentimes people don't say them because they're worried it's cheesy or cliche. But the truth is like, you're right. I think you do just have to do it. I also think it's really important what you said, that you knew what you wanted to do. Yeah,
and also I had like a strong belief that I was going to succeed in what I'm doing. Not in an arrogant way, but if you don't believe that you're going to succeed, you don't have to try it. So you also need like this certainty inside of yourself, like, okay, if I go for it, I know that I have this talent or this thing that I can do it, and I will succeed. So that's my state of mind was also okay, I think.
Well, explain the belief, because I'm imagining it comes from all the hard work that led up to that point. But I'm wondering, for people that are out there that might not have that belief, how do you get it? Or if people have it, how are you sure that it really is that, and it's not some sort of arrogance? Where did your belief come from?
I think it's part of the fact that since I was a little boy, I wanted to do something with art, with drawing, and people around me also said, like, this is something that you have to do later on. You're really good at it. And so you get some positive feedback from your surroundings. And also you see that you can reach a certain level of quality in what you're doing. And like, this is good enough to make a living out of it. I'm not sure if it's going to work. You're never 100% sure, but I was always convinced that, and even if I hadn't succeeded, and I still would have been painting in my free time. But now, I don't know why I believed it so strongly, but maybe also because I wanted it so badly. I guess that is also, I knew some people who were living from their art, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the same. And if they can do it, then maybe also I can do it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a small thing either. Going back to your mother, I think it's very normal for parents, especially, to be concerned, to care, to want, what they think is best for their child, which ultimately is really what they want. It's sort of peace or joy or happiness or financial freedom, or right. You want to see your kids happy. You might not necessarily know how they should do that, but you think you do. And so it's not just a parental thing. It's like a societal thing. Society will tell you, well, here's how you should be, right? This is the path. And so that can oftentimes, really condition you towards a direction that might not really be the thing that is going to give you what you want. If you see other people that are doing it, it can really inspire you. It opens it up. It says, oh, wait, there's more than one path here towards, getting that feeling, that fulfillment, that joy, the freedom, whatever. And that one feels more like the one I want to get on. And it sounds like, you had that in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also realize that I'm part of the lucky few. Because if you can, and it can be like singing, it can be dancing, it can be, I also have like a profession that a lot of people don't really call a profession. You don't, a real job is from 9 to 5, from Monday to Friday. So you don't have a real job, but I'm working very hard. So like I got up at 7 every day. I painted for 8, maybe sometimes 9 hours straight. So it's also some kind of a envy or jealousy sometimes from people that are like, a job can be that much fun, because my job is like only fun.
Yeah.
So I also feel like that I'm not really having a job. I'm just a lucky guy who can, because the way my life is right now, I fantasized about it. When I was at my work, I was dreaming like, oh, it would be so nice if people just contacted me to ask me to paint murals and stuff like that. And because graphic designer, I studied and I did it for 13 years, but never has been something I was passionate about or wanted to do. But when I was at my job, I was thinking, this is not such a bad job. I'm designing magazines, I'm designing this. People have worse job. You can like work in a factory, and it's physically very, it asks a lot of you physically. I'm just having a good time behind the computer, but I still have a boss that says me how I have to do it, and maybe I don't always agree with his vision. And so every day I still realize that I'm very lucky, and that I'm not being a graphic designer anymore, not having a boss anymore, just having all this freedom to do what I want to do, the way that I want to do it. And that's also an amazing feeling, because sometimes they say, yeah, you have to be with your clients like this, or you have to be like that. And I was always thinking, I just want to be me. It's okay. You don't have to be like this or like that. If you just approach it with the right state of mind, then I'm just myself all the time. So I don't adapt like, okay, I'm in this kind of environment, so I'm going to be more like this or more like that. If people have like a lot of money or stuff like that, it doesn't really impresses me. Do I like this person or don't I like this person? So and I hope I'm just try to be like a good person all the time. I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And that's also something. If clients ask, if you feel they're like wanting you to do something that you really don't want to do, or the vibe is not good, I just say no, I don't do the job.
Yeah. That all sounds just like freedom, complete freedom. And that's, I think, really what it's about. Ultimately, I think, people are really chasing that. They don't necessarily know how to get it. They might think it's coming in other ways. I say they, I mean me, we all do it. Some more than others, but you've really designed your life to be able to, have that freedom in your day. And you've said this a couple of times, and I just want to highlight it because I think it's important, is it's not the 9 to 5, because actually the 9 to 5 might be less work. It's not a matter of the hours, right? It's really a matter of the experience that you have during that time. You're working longer than 9 to 5. Now you might be able to take months off, but that's also a choice. You have the freedom to do it. Somebody with a day job, a boss, might not. You could work 12 months out of the year if you wanted to. You have the freedom to not. But it's not about, I guess what I want to, make sure comes across. It's not really a matter of how hard you work. It's a matter of how you get to be with the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you also made a good point, like the freedom is also very, very important. I think that's something that everybody wants to achieve. But sometimes like a steady job gives you certainty, and some people, they don't want to be like, want to have this kind of freedom, because it will also make them feel uncertain about certain things, because you have to accomplish everything on your own.
Yeah, it can be scary.
Because if you say I can take a couple of months off, but I also want to be sure that afterwards I still have something to do. Because in the beginning I did I did everything. We have this little job for you, and I did everything because I have to pay my house. There is so much.
Sure.
So I did, and it was stressful because I have like 1 week to finish this, and then when it's finished, I start with another job, and now I'm approaching it totally differently, but also because I have the luxury to approach it differently. I have a lot of people contacting me with some really nice projects, and so I can choose the ones that I want to do. And like you said, I work really hard for a certain amount of time. Like now I'm here, I get up every day at 7, I paint all day long. But once I get home, I take like 1 or 2 weeks off that I'm not doing anything. But like you said, it's my choice, because I could also say, okay, let's go in the studio right away and start painting. And sometimes I envy other artists that are like that, because some people are insanely productive and they really do a lot, but I need this free time to like charge my batteries for the next project that I'm doing. And I also enjoy social life. So I like to go out with my friends, do stuff, and it's an important part of my life. So I don't want to be some artists, you almost never see them because they're only working and painting. And these guys are also, or women, they are also very talented, and they evolve a lot because they are really full-time doing what they're doing. And sometimes I'm thinking, like, if I would approach it like that, I would evolve even more and make more work and maybe even better work. But I need this balance between my social life and my work life, because now it's my job now. So it isn't a real job, but it is my job.
I understand. Yeah, you could lose some of that joy and passion and excitement and freedom if it becomes something that then you're, having to do.
Yeah, because some people, they start living from their passion, and then they do it so much that they get like an adverse reaction, and they don't like it anymore. It's only became a burden to do, and I don't want to be in that position. I just still want to enjoy it all the time.